You know, some people enjoy composing their own music, chord by chord, and others are happiest when they come across that one perfect song. Work is not a lot different than that. Whether you prefer building your own workflow or using a pre-made template, with Monday.com, you and the team can work in a way that's comfortable for everyone. Tap the banner to go to Monday.com and build your own amazing workflow, or find an awesome template. No judgment.
Welcome to the RuPaul's Drag Race Recap Show for Season 14, Episode 0, titled Meet the Queens. My name's Joe Betance, and I am joined, as always, by one very difficult co-host from the podcast. Pod is my co-pilot. Please say hello, hello, hello to Taylor, the Latte Boy. She's back again.
I am back again
Yes,
for my sixth season.
For you, is this your sixth season?
Well, this is the sixth season in a row, but we've also done seasons. This is my eighth. Technically, it's my eighth and a half.
Yeah. Well,
no, because there's All Stars. It's ninth. I did All Stars too. No, I've done a bunch.
You've done a bunch of seasons. Right?
Yes. Yes.
But, you know, you want to hear more, because, you know, there are seasons that you guys have never heard on the public feed, and if you want to hear those seasons, head on over to Patreon at patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia. Join at whatever level you want, right? Mm-hmm. But join, right? And you can hear Taylor, right now, currently, we are airing our Season 4 episodes that you and I recorded. But yes, you and I didn't do Season 3, but those are available now for people to listen to.
That's correct.
So go to patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia, support the show, and get to listen to some. You know what? I was talking to somebody, and I was saying that, like, this is crazy. So we are releasing shows that used to be for the exclusive tier. I'm now releasing for everybody, right? Hallmark.
Okay. Yes.
And so I go back into the feed, and I change the publication date, right? So I have to go back and find the episode, and I can change it on our service to 100 shows per page. And to go back a year, I have to go back like 3 or 4 pages.
I believe it.
That's how many episodes we put out.
That is a testament to your hard work and how dedicated you are to this network that you created.
You're not getting a raise.
Damn it. But can you imagine when you started doing this? How long has Afterthought officially been around? 5 years? 4 years?
I think Afterthought Media as a corporation, we are entering either our 3rd or 4th year.
Who would have thought, though, that you would have created that much content and some of it actually being good?
Oh,
that's just amazing.
Overshooting it. Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe 1 out of 20 episodes. Speaking of Taylor, you know, you're very popular. Everyone's very excited, and one of the things you get as Patreon supporters is you get access to our Discord. And everybody right now, we do our live shows. We do them on the Discord, and everybody is in the chat room. They're so excited to hear Taylor. No one's ever excited to hear me because they hear me all the time.
Yeah.
And I was talking to new Afterthought family member, Christian Ochoa, about, I was talking about that yesterday, and I was saying how I do honestly believe this, that you and Lori are way more popular than I am. I don't think, and you know, in the forthcoming, you know, we're having an Afterthought Media convention in 2022, God willing. I'm disinviting you, Taylor, but not for mean reasons, but just because I want it to happen. I feel like if you say you're coming, there'll be like 3 variants in 1 week.
I was going to say, well, that guarantees the Gamma variant will be coming in early 2022.
Yeah. So anyway, what I was going to say is, I was saying, I don't think anybody would be excited to meet me. I was talking to an Afterthought, and I said, who would you be most excited to meet? And I'm not even joking. This person listed all the people they would be excited to meet. And I was at the very bottom, right? And so I was talking to Christian about how, he's already our breakout superstar and everyone loves him. And he said he would go to AfterCon.
Where is he in the country?
He's in Los Angeles. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, people will be very excited to meet you. And I was saying, I'm like, and this, hear me out here. And I think you'll have a lot of, the comparison I made, I think you'll have a lot of thoughts here. Okay.
Okay.
I said, I'm like Mickey Mouse. Okay. In that Mickey Mouse is seen as sort of the boss of the Disney characters, right?
Okay. Yeah.
But is he really anyone's favorite character? No, people love Donald, they love Goofy, maybe even Pluto. But does anybody really like Mickey Mouse?
I think no. I think that there is a just general love for Mickey Mouse. Like, I know that we are Disney fans here. We go to Disney World all the time, and there is a little bit of excitement when you see Mickey Mouse, but you're more often going to see Mickey Mouse than any other character, whether it's in a parade or whether it's, greeting people or just all over all of the pictures. Whereas when you see like a Pluto or a Donald, or now the new one at Disney World is they bring out Clarabelle all the time.
Oh, why?
Which you never saw Clarabelle before. I don't know. Maybe Clarabelle's having a renaissance. Who knows? But that is something where you're like, oh my gosh, that's a character that you don't ever see anymore. Like, that's been a big deal through when they reopened. They have a lot of the characters out that you don't normally get to see as much. Like Tweedledee and Tweedledum, stuff like that.
Well, I want to get to you because no one has heard from you in months, and we're going to get to you. Trust me. You're already looking at the clock. Mama, we'll get to you.
No, I'm looking at the Discord.
But you just reminded me that last week, and I want to talk about this with you.
Okay.
I went to Disney California Adventure with my brother. Just my brother and me. Okay.
That's nice.
And we'll talk about it in a second. We're going to get to it, right?
Okay.
A lot of thoughts about it. We're going to talk about this here. But to tie it in with what you were saying, there was a Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. I've never seen that.
Walking around?
Yes.
Really?
At California Adventure. I'm like, you have to be a real fucking nerd. If you're like, oh, I did it though. I was like, oh my God, it's Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. Anyway, can I please tell you why my brother and I went to California Adventure? And this is not the only trip we're going to do.
Okay.
Just to stuff our fat fucking faces with food. One of the lucky things about Disneyland, as opposed to Disney World, is it's in the middle of the city, and it's very convenient. My brother lives very close to it. So you can just go there and within, 15 minutes be inside the park. So my brother has kids, and my brother was like, I never get to eat it because the kids are just dragging them all over the place, and they want to eat at Pizza Planet or whatever, right? So we chose a weekday. We went at like 11 in the morning, and stuff we had, I'll tell you what we had. Chorizo burritos. Each of us had a chorizo burrito, which I'm going to say, for $10 at Disneyland, it was a hefty size.
That's good.
Yeah. Then we went and got, at the Avengers campus, they have this restaurant that makes either super tiny food or super gigantic food. So we got like a gigantic chicken sandwich and we split it.
Okay.
Am I spoiling things by telling you about food? And then
no, it's okay.
And then we went to the Lucky Fortune cookie or whatever it is, and we got a bowl of pho. No, ramen. And by that point, we were super full, and we had to give up our chili cone queso, which is chili and cheese in a cone. Okay.
Oh God.
Yeah, we canceled that order. But one other thing I want to tell you about when we were in line, like, I don't know if you've ever seen this before. And I'm going to use very Taylor the Latte Boy terminology here. We are in line to get into the park. And there's and it's a brisk day, right? It's probably in the low 60s, high 50s.
That sounds like heaven.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it was, but it's not like when you hear what I'm going to say. And there was this girl, this is where I'm going to talk like Taylor. And we're 5'10", and we're super, super rail thin and pasty white with blonde hair. And she's in full-on stiletto heels and a glitter dress and her super long blonde hair done just so with a fur coat and a big fat big nerd pig with glasses and a backpack behind her with an Elsa backpack. And she's just walking into the park. right? And my brother and I, look at this fucking bitch, right? We know exactly what she's doing, right? And then she takes off the fur coat, and it's very cold, and it's a short little mini skirt, and she has this glittery mini skirt on. And then all the parents, she's just a guest, are coming up. And my daughter wants to take a picture with Elsa, and she's like, oh, how weird. Okay, well, yeah, as soon as how weird. Of course I will. I'm like, this fucking bitch totally did that 100% on purpose. And I want to get your thoughts on this. And do you think Disney, I mean, we got away from her as soon as possible, but does the park have a problem with that? Go ahead, Taylor.
Well, I know that they do. Yes, it's gross. That's the short answer. I know when they do some of like the haunted Halloween or the Boo to You things and stuff, that you can be adults can be in costumes, but they have to be very generic costumes, and they don't want anything that even remotely looks like something that could be, like where a kid could get confused and want to walk up to you and say, you know, are you Buzz Lightyear or something like that? Mm-hmm. So was the glittery dress blue?
Yeah. She was pulling Elsa cosplay. And what's weird is, I don't know if she lived locally. Like, if she auditioned, she would be cast as Elsa. I mean, I'm not denying that she looked like her, but it's sort of weird to show up in the outfit was not appropriate for the weather. It was super, and like, who's walking around these theme parks in super high heels, stiletto heels?
Well, because she is, that's about the attention for her. That is about where she can't charge people for it.
No,
it's not like she can say, she's not like the ones that are in front of Mann's Chinese Theater where they have to pay for it. But I guess that is just sort of an attention thing. And she knows that she can go there and think that she's the prettiest princess. And whereas everybody knows that Joe and his brother were the prettiest princesses with their chili cone carne.
I know. I shouldn't say anything. People were coming up to me asking if I was the dad from Moana. But
Monstro. It's Monstro.
Look, Monstro. Can my dog take a picture with you? And I was like, what? They thought my brother and I were Tweedledee and Tweedledum. I've already used it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's gross. That's just a gross. But I mean, it is sort of the thing that we see here. We have do you guys have like Dapper Day at Disney?
Yes,
where everybody all dresses up and that sort of thing. And you see people doing that and then taking pictures. It's an influencer thing.
But that part I'm okay with. It's pretending to be a Disney character. But Taylor, no one cares about that. They want to hear, how have you been? We have not heard you on the air in like 6 months. How have you been? Tell us about what's going on with you.
Has it only been 6 months? It feels like it's been longer. Things are going okay. I mean, things were going okay up until about a week ago. Things are going really well. It's the holidays, and I work in mental health.
Oh, God.
That's all you need to say.
Yeah.
No, it's been we're getting along really well with the dogs. They have adjusted really well to life here in the house with us. And I, right after we finished taping season 13, I went and visited my family for a little bit, and that was fun. And I've been on a cruise since the last time that we taped, and I've just been kind of relaxed. I started an antidepressant.
Ooh.
So that should be fun. We could talk about that at some point. And,
covering season 14 might really stretch the limits of the efficacy of this medicine.
Well, I need to call my primary care and have her up the dose. We decided that tonight at my therapy appointment. So hopefully we're timing this just right. So when January 7th comes around, I will be fully Wellbutrined. Yeah,
I called, the negotiations with Taylor about when we were going to record the show and all kinds of stuff happened last week. And,
you do know my husband was in the car when we were doing that. And when we hung up, I said, he's going to make this and turn this around to make it sound like I'm the diva. I'm the asshole.
Yeah.
But I have a witness.
And, I the whole time, we did the audition with Christian. I go, and during that show, I go, he would be really good on a fashion show that we're calling Bring It to the Runway. How do I break it to Taylor that he's going to be doing that? And I braced you. I warned you. I said, listen, I got some disappointing news for you. And you're like, okay. And I told you, and there was a long silence. And then you were like, I'm okay with that. And I was like, oh, good.
That's okay. It's okay. And I said, occasionally if I see an outfit that I really like, I want to talk about it, but I don't have to talk about all the looks anymore.
No.
If it helps shave a little bit of time off of the taping time.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah,
so be
right.
it. That makes us a leaner show.
Yeah, we want to be a leaner show. Something has to be lean here.
I'm getting leaner because thanks, Wellbutrin.
Oh, have you really lost weight because of Wellbutrin?
Yeah. I've lost a little bit of weight. I occasionally get my husband saying, wow, you have lost weight. I'm like, oh, I'm still a big fat pig, but thank you.
Mm-hmm. I've gained a lot of weight in the past month or so.
Really? Why do you think of the last month?
I've just been really enjoying eating.
Wow, that's something new for you. That's groundbreaking.
Well, it is. What I mean is, so here's the deal. My boyfriend, went through a spell in like the summer where he wasn't super into eating. Okay, right. Do your thing. Well, now she has a new job and a new lease on life and everything. Now and I'm here for it, by the way. She's super into cooking and baking and all kinds of fun stuff. And she wants me to do it with him. I just did something today. Right? Mm-hmm. Like right now he's at home making challah bread.
Challah. Right? Sorry. Easy joke. I couldn't help myself.
I've done it 3 times today to him. Anyway. And,
my first snort of season 14.
Oh, cough, diabetes. And, so now he wants me to bake with him and do all kinds of things with, like, he made this up. The 12 days of baking, and he's going to bake something new every day, and he wants me to do it with him. Meanwhile, I'm like, okay, when will the diabetic coma kick in? Because, my endocrinologist is not going to be very happy coming up. But anyway.
It's never good when they walk in and go, hey, Mr. Potato. Whoa!
Okay. Well,
what did you do?
Yeah, like, what is wrong with you? She slapped me in the face. Anyway, Taylor. So what we're going to do, because Taylor has made it very known he wants to get in and out of these shows, okay? And I want to respect that.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we're going to do, and I have a timer right here, and I should make sure that the volume is up. Yeah, okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give each queen, and this includes both of us, not each, for the entire discussion of the queen, it's 3 minutes. When the alarm goes off, the person can finish their sentence, but we're going to the next queen.
Okay.
Well, especially because there are so many queens that if we actually just talked, we would be here for 3 hours.
Some of them we're not going to talk about for very long.
I want you to look at my first 3 people of notes. I have 0 comments.
Yeah, no, I don't have a ton of comments. Before we start with the timer, though, could we just talk about, when you're ready, can we just talk about the initial introduction of the queens with the theme and Simone and all of that kind of stuff? Did you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, but I gave them on Monday on Bring It to the Runway. But what are your thoughts?
I liked the idea of the arcade look. I didn't quite get the one that they did where it looked like they were like in a warehouse, but they had the big weird cylinders, and that it was where Evie Oddly was like the leader from Power Rangers, like kind of talking on the big screen. Mm-hmm. So I liked that aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
I there's part of me that I feel bad for Simone. Mm-hmm. Because it feels like Simone has been a winner for the winner and the reigning queen for like 2 minutes before they're already bringing in the new girls, and we're gonna kind of not necessarily think about Simone as much. I did not like her look, and it just the way weird that they kind of like would bring her back, but they wouldn't bring her completely in before they would fade to the next character, the next contestant. I didn't necessarily. It just felt there's something kind of disrespectful about it. I don't know. I didn't like it. I hate the commercial, the Candyland commercial of them all running. It is probably my least favorite commercial they've ever done.
Oh, interesting. Really?
Well, because it's a lot of really weird angles where you don't really get to see like the girl, like that weird, like where they're all like walking and it's overhead, and it feels like a lot of the Ru things in the middle were just very stock footage that don't make any sense to what the queens are saying in their intros. And all that kind of thing. And I don't get the whole thing with the chocolate bars. I know that apparently that's going to be something in the season, but I need more information at this point. I just feels like they're just going to want to sell
that's what it is. But
chocolate bars at some point.
Was anybody buying the stupid $11 RuPaul chocolate bar? Like,
is that how much those chocolate bars were back then? $11?
I think they were like $11. But does somebody know in the Discord how much they were? They were definitely more than $6. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
I don't have the exact price, but I want to say they were like $10 or $11 to the point where I remember where I was thinking like, whoa, like,
and that's going back. How many years ago was that?
Yeah. So like, maybe someone has how much they were.
Jordan says in Vegas, they are $8.
I want to say that's down.
Well, who the hell is running around looking for a RuPaul chocolate bar? Who does she think is going to be running around looking for a RuPaul chocolate bar?
Can you imagine spending $8 for a RuPaul chocolate bar? For $8, you could go to Walgreens and buy a bag of delicious Reese's peanut butter cups. Or what's your favorite candy? This is a candy thing.
Reese's peanut butter cups are up there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a simple Hershey girl. If you give me for $8, I know you could get 2 of the enormous Hershey bars where they break off the little pieces of it.
Mm-hmm.
You could get at least 2 of those, maybe 3 if you get on sale and you're a member of the Walgreens members club.
I'm going to tell you, I think, and I know this is super basic. And I'm not.
I just said Hershey bar.
I know.
You don't get more basic than a Hershey bar.
True. But I'm going to say, and I know that I've had way more delicious candy, but I'm talking for a mass market candy bar you could buy at a gas station. The Snickers bar is perfection.
Snickers is a candy I don't appreciate as much as I could.
Mm-hmm.
Like my boss always has, or my executive director always has a big 5-pound bag of chocolate in a secret cabinet behind her desk. And after she leaves, sometimes I go in and grab a little bit of it. The Snickers are the last ones that I would reach for. I would usually reach for a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Yeah, great.
Or a fun size Milky Way, especially Milky Way Midnight may be my favorite candy bar.
Mm-hmm.
But a Milky Way Midnight, because it's the dark chocolate, it has the vanilla nougat. But yeah, if there's Snickers in there, I kind of forage around the Snickers.
You could give it to me. I'm going to tell you something. I'll be able to go another step further. I love me a Payday.
Okay.
I like Twix.
Twix are I will grab a Twix before I will grab a Snickers.
Oh, what about a Kit Kat?
I will grab a Kit Kat before I grab a Twix before I grab a Snickers.
Interesting.
Do you like $100,000?
$100,000, baby.
I knew you were going to do that. God damn it. $100,000 bars are
I don't remember.
They're one that I think that I like more than I actually do.
Oh, you love the 80s. I
do. And it angers me when people don't.
Yeah, why is that? That would be if I was like, how do you not know about, Clara Bow?
I do know who Clara Bow is, though. Mm-hmm. She was the It Girl. Yeah. She was the first It Girl.
Mm-hmm.
I guess just because that was probably a time in my life that I was probably the happiest in my life as a child. And I just associate a lot of pop culture with that time because I was just immersed in pop culture.
Mm-hmm. And Twix bars.
That's right.
Okay, Taylor, we're going to start the first timer here. How do you say this person's name? It's not Angaria, right? What is her name?
Angeria?
Angeria Paris Van Michaels. I'm starting the timer now. I wrote literally, I have 0 comments.
All right. And I strained to get comments. She definitely has a very unique face. Mm-hmm. I will say that. Mm-hmm. So I'm curious to see what she looks like as a boy.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing that I wrote about her was she doesn't seem to be too quick on her feet. I like when they asked her the question, what happened to the first 3 episodes of season 1? Why did you start at season 4? And she looked panicked. And they asked her another question and she didn't seem to really have an answer right on her feet. So that concerns me for things like if she were to make it to Snatch Game, I don't know how well she would do.
Let me ask you a question. How did you first discover RuPaul's Drag Race?
I feel like it was in some sort of magazine that I read that I knew that it was around, but we didn't have a logo. And so I watched the second season on Netflix. Mm-hmm. And then I watched I think season 3 on Netflix too. And eventually I went and BitTorrented season 1.
You know what's weird? I've met quite a number of people who have the same experience that I do, which is I first discovered RuPaul's Drag Race on The Soup. It was constant fodder for Joel McHale on The Soup.
Okay.
And I was like, what is this show? And I had to, you had to find logo and find it, but I did. And from season 1, I'm probably like her. I probably found it around episode 4 of season 1, 3 or 4. And, because I started seeing The Soup and I was like, this looks like something I would like. But, that's how I found it. I'm going to tell you something. She seems like one of these people who knows she's not going to win, but she's gunning for Miss Congeniality. And she's really sweetening that Southern accent.
Yeah.
She, a lot of these queens say the same thing. She was saying the same thing. We've heard it all before,
Very polished, though.
Very polished.
She's definitely pageant girl. You can tell that by just the presentation. Mm-hmm. But as far as the quick on your feet, I don't know how we're going to do.
Yeah. We're coming down to the last 30 seconds here, Taylor. Do you have any other... we can move on. We don't have to use the 3 minutes.
Yeah, we don't have to use the 3 minutes on her.
No, we don't. Okay, I'm going to press done, and there we go. All right, the next one, I'm starting the timer here, is Alyssa Hunter. I wrote, I have 0 comments.
So all I wrote was that I loved the outfit. Again, going to that 80s aesthetic of the neon and the very structured with the shoulders and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Plus there was something sort of superhero-esque to it. I thought she came off as sort of generic as far as her presentation. I thought her answers were very generic. And I thought I asked the question, do we think she could beat the Puerto Rican girl curse of the show?
Which is what? Like win
just
the
that
show?
They don't seem to do very well.
Well, you had Alexis did very well and Yara did very well.
Okay. But there's never been a Puerto Rican girl that's won.
No.
Do you think she could win? No, I don't think so either. No. And I think that when you make a statement like, I just don't want to be the first one to go home, you're basically already defeated. Like you're not seeing long term at that point when you're saying that, I just don't send me home first. That's all I ask.
Yeah. Oh my God. Isn't that sad?
Yeah.
But that's the thing you want. You don't want to go home first.
Well, but think about that. All of the girls who've gone on first, very few of them you ever hear of again.
Yeah. The thing is too, was like, she said that Alyssa, here's the thing I don't get. Maybe she had a different drag name, but she said Alyssa Hunter was based on Alyssa Edwards and some girl that won Miss Continental, right?
Right.
But then she said she'd been doing drag for 10 years. But Alyssa's season was like 2013, 2014?
It sounds about right, yeah.
So maybe she had a different drag name then, But
yeah, I was going to say, I think that occasionally they change their name. Mm-hmm. So
I have nothing to say about this one.
Yeah, that's everything that I wrote on her.
Okay, very good. We're going to move on to the next one. All right, next we have Bosco from Seattle.
Bosco seemed silly and much more relaxed than the first two.
True.
And I was the most of going in order. She was the one I was most intrigued by.
Really?
I'm not necessarily calling her a favorite. I have a couple of favorites already, but she is one that I thought okay, she could be fun. She could be a lot of fun to watch. I don't quite get the eyebrows, but she kind of explained that a little bit, but she was fun.
It's funny you say that. I wrote I have 0 comments, but I remember her. And what I'm going to tell you is there's something about her that struck me as contrived. And I'm not comparing her to this queen, what I'm going to tell you right now, but contrived in the same way of like a Ms. Cracker. you know? Like, I've fabricated this persona.
Okay.
And the persona seems casual, and the persona seems wacky and easygoing. But the reality is we are very tense, and everything is very, very calculated to the T.
We're going to watch her slowly crack over the season as she can't keep up, as she can't self-produce for more than a couple of episodes before she crumbles. Okay.
I was going to make a Spanish joke, but I realized it's better suited for Bring It to the Runway when I'll have Spanish speakers on there. But you know, the Spanish word for nausea is asco. So I can't wait at some point to drop that joke. So I won't tell Christian and future co-host Jess about it yet. But one day I will drop that joke. And they will laugh. They'll think it's so funny. They'll just be like laughing it up with an accent, but they'll be laughing. When your husband Bobby Lou, when he laughs when he's speaking Spanish, Bobby Lou is Cuban, by the way. Does he laugh with an accent or?
Well, he says "el ha ha ha."
Oh, okay.
Unless it's one of our female friends laughing, then he goes "la ha ha ha."
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so my boyfriend Aiden is a big Bosco fan just because Bosco's from Seattle.
Okay, so Aiden is familiar.
Aiden is very familiar. He is a big fan, and I think he's rooting for her. You know, Aiden talked to Christian yesterday on the phone with me. He wanted to meet Christian on the phone, and what kind of came for Christian for reading Bosco in the episode. To Christian's credit, he stood by his opinion. He's like, man, she looked like shit. Oh, timer done. All right. But it didn't make a sound. I don't like that. Okay. Next, no. You know what I want to do now? I want to take a break. Well, let's take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the rest of the queens.
This is Amy Poehler. My new movie, Disney and Pixar's Inside Out 2, is coming to theaters June 14th, and it's making me feel joy and sadness and anger, definitely some disgust, and I think a little fear. But I'm also feeling these new emotions like anxiety, embarrassment, envy, and ennui.
It's what you call the boredom.
Okay, that one was weird. It's going to be the feel everything movie of the summer. Disney and Pixar's Inside Out 2, rated PG, parental guidance suggested. Only in theaters June 14th. Get tickets now.
All right, everybody. We are back from that commercial break. I got to tell you guys something. If you are not here live on Discord through the Patreon, you are missing so much. Right towards the end of the break, I asked Taylor a question, but then I said, "Oh, the break's ending." And I said, "Hold it for after the break." And so here's the question, Taylor. Well, I think I asked you the question, right? The question
you did ask me the question.
Yeah. Have you ever given roadhead? Was the question.
The answer to that is, have I given roadhead? No.
Oh.
No, the answer is no.
Oh, you've never? Okay.
I've never given roadhead.
Okay.
I've gotten roadhead once. For like 15 seconds. And I was because I was convinced that I was going to get in a car accident. So I pretty much pulled the guy's head off of my head and was like, no. So if memory serves, he might have jerked me off. Mm-hmm. But I've never gotten I've never gotten roadhead to completion.
Okay, let me.
And I've never given
question.
roadhead.
I have several questions here. One, have either you or Bobby Lou exposed your genitals while the other person was in the car?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, then I have no other questions.
I might have. It's been 13 years. And I might have done it as a joke, like pulled my shorts over, but that's... Tell you what, if we're in the car when we listen to this, I will do it while we're driving. Mm-hmm. Have you ever given roadhead?
Taylor. Sorry, the music started. I couldn't answer that question. Next, we have, coming down the runway, we're going to start the timer right now, is we have Diabetti. And who better to talk about this than Taylor the Latte Boy? Go ahead, Taylor the Latte Boy. Diabetti.
What I wrote about her was, well, we already know her mirror moment story.
Oh, what, you think it's about her diabetes?
Yes, absolutely. It's about her diabetes. I had wrote down that she's another one like Bosco who seemed very relaxed. Mm-hmm. But I also wrote, comedy isn't your strong suit. Well, it's not for Ru either.
Oh, wow.
Where I don't get why you would go on here and go, I'm not really good at comedy, so I hope we don't do any comedy. Bitch, that's always like the second thing is always comedy challenges. Mm-hmm. So again, where we're hearing things like, I don't want to be the first one to go, and I hope we don't do much comedy. Mm-hmm. That's not a good sign for Diabetti.
Which is really funny because based on her personality that she gave us here, she seems like someone who would be good at comedy.
Yeah. I agree with that. But I'm also wondering with some of these girls where they talk about things they're not good at, if they are setting the bar low. Mm-hmm. If they are underselling, I know that we've seen examples of girls underselling to Ru, but I wonder if they're going into this underselling to the viewers so that we don't think much and then we are wowed by their presentation.
Yeah. Former co-host of mine, Mike Lawson, is a type 1 diabetic, and he's like, kind of famous in the diabetes world, which is a bizarre world to be famous in. Mm-hmm. I know he listens to this show, so maybe he will text me and give me the answer, but do you think she is now the person he's rooting for?
I would hope that wouldn't be the reason. I know a couple of people tagged me in the Discord chat and stuff. It's like, I'm interested in what Taylor has to say about that. I was not necessarily impressed with the look. I don't know that I really am going to root for her one way or the other. I need to see more. Mm-hmm. I'm interested to see more. Mm-hmm. But just because we are sisters of the insulin doesn't necessarily mean that I want to see her go all the way.
So she's the first one I had notes for, and I told her that I liked her from the get-go. I actually really liked her Meet the Queens. It was the first one that sort of seemed more easygoing, more fun. I think you commented on that.
Yes.
But we're just shy of 30 seconds left. Have you any other comments on Diabetti?
Mm-mm. No, I don't.
Someone asked this in the chat room, and it's true. She is besties with afterthought personality Jimmy Anti.
Yes, when she said she was from Springfield, I wonder if Jimmy knows her.
Yeah, I was texting with Jimmy, gave me no tea, but we texted about his being friends with her and stuff. All right, time's up with her. Next, we have Deja Sky. Taylor the Latte Boy, Deja Sky.
I don't have a lot to say about Deja Sky. Deja Sky to me felt the most rehearsed in her answers, of where it felt like she kind of knew what answers to expect and practice in the mirror. Mm-hmm. I feel like we've seen this queen a million times before. Mm-hmm. So and that's really all I wrote about her.
So what I have here on her, as I said, I wrote that I'm torn, and I know what I'm talking about, is that there was something about her personality. I could see what you're saying. We've seen this before, right? But there was something about her personality that was sort of charmed by, right? But however, I have the wherewithal to also realize that could be extremely irritating once we see her IRL. Once she's working with the other queens, once she's, actually talking to them. I think a good example, even though her personality is nowhere like this person, but a good example of the experience I'm talking about is Silky Nutmeg Ganache, who, as we know, just won people over on her Meet the Queens video, and then the reality when she got in the room was very different. Mm-hmm. And I could see Deja being one of those girls who is very extra in a way that's kind of annoying. And so but I was charmed by the Meet the Queens, but that's just a speculation on my part.
Well, and as we've seen through all of these Meet the Queens, we never get it 100% right. Mm-hmm. There have been ones that we've talked about that we did not like. One that comes to mind that we talked about, I know that you and I talked about, even though I didn't do UK, was Davina DeCampo.
Oh, very good.
You and I couldn't stand Davina DeCampo's Meet the Queens, and I know I loved her. She was the one I was rooting for by the end. So this is the case with Deja too.
Very good point. Do you have any other thoughts on Deja Sky?
Nope.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next queen. The next queen we have is LaGuardia something Kennedy. I don't know what's LaGuardia.
Somebody will say it in the chat.
But
Newark. Newark.
you.
I said it at the same time as Lauren S. So we both get credit for that. So LaGuardia, Newark.
Jasmine Kennedy. Your thoughts here on Jasmine Kennedy?
What I wrote was, I love the wig, and I think she is going to be the lip sync girl.
Oh, interesting.
And by that, I don't necessarily mean she's going to be an assassin, but I think that I have a feeling that she is going to be the one that we get the lip sync that everybody talks about the next day.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I just get that feeling.
So they did this thing in her video where it was like, oh, this bitch talks, right?
Yes, that was the other thing that I wrote, but go ahead.
But I'm going to talk about the videos as a whole, not Jasmine in particular. Am I wrong that they seemed very, very long? Like, really long?
A couple of them did, though they probably aren't much longer. I mean, you've got the YouTube video up. How much time is it between most of them?
It's about 5 minutes. I'll just confirm. I'll confirm, but I think it's about 5 minutes. Let me see.
Were they really that long?
Yeah. It's, Bosco went from 1941 to 24/21. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. The long edit where they just showed her talking kind of overlaid with each other, that to me is not a good sign. That's not a good sign to me that they were doing that.
Or could it be a good sign? Is that maybe when they don't do funny things with them, they don't know them that well, or they don't have that kind of level of comfort with them, where with this one, like, they've gotten to know that persona, so they feel comfortable enough to make jokes about that person? I could be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, that obviously could happen as well, but I feel like we've seen this before with other girls, of where that idea of where they just have them talking.
Yeah.
That eventually comes back as part of like a storyline.
All right, but to be honest, that's the only thing I had. You know? All right, next we have a Georges. Oh, no, it was canceled that. We only have 30 seconds left. Georges. Any thoughts on Georges, Taylor?
Georges, similar to the long answers, the oh my God edit in the beginning was, to me, not a good sign.
Yeah.
I wrote, I'm bored. And the weird little laugh was off-putting. But again, we talked about Davina DeCampo doing that weird laugh, and we ended up loving her. And the other thing that I said was not a good sign was the comparing herself to others, where she says at one point something along the lines of, I'm constantly comparing myself to everybody else in the room, which I get is the opposite of the stock answer we always get, is that I'm my biggest competition. But when you're openly saying, yeah, I'm going to compare myself to bitches who might look better than me, that's not good. That's not good.
I strangely very much liked her for a couple of reasons. Okay. One is she said this thing, and any long time afterthought media listener, you don't have to be a Patreon supporter, any long term RuPaul's Drag Race recap listener will know this. Is she said, and this is really awkward, that the name is based on her name, Jorge, and gorgeous, but that people like to whitewash her name and call her George.
Right.
And we used to have a co-host on this show.
Yes.
Who spelled his name Jorge, but he whitewashed himself and pronounced it George. Now, I don't mind saying this because I don't think she's ever listened to one, even when she was on the show, ever listened to one episode of the show.
Right.
I had to mute her social media. Or maybe even unfollowed her. I'm not sure, right? Because it was driving me crazy. And I know this is something that if you don't know what I'm talking about, you don't know what I'm talking about. But it really drove me up the fucking wall that, and when you have your social media, there are two things that really upset me. One, you're holding the camera. When you're at a party, you're holding a camera, right? So she would be panning her friend somewhere, right? Mm-hmm. And they were all super, super, super white. Mm-hmm. Like, so not just a white person, but it's like the blondest, whitest person you've ever seen in your entire life. And it's
from
like,
the land of Caucasia.
Yeah. Like she was in Sweden. All her friends, even her boyfriend, they're like super white blonde people, right? And you never saw color because she's holding the camera. And
she's the fat girl who holds the purses at the club.
And then exactly. And then the other thing too was during the pandemic, she had a video of herself. We're gonna have to move on after this sentence. A video of herself with her white friends, maskless, at a gay bar. And I was like,
I remember the lengthy conversation you and I had privately about this.
By the way, I do want to say this really quickly before we move on from George's, that she dropped the word chunti, which is a very derogatory Spanish word. Basically for an undocumented person, I guess is the best way, because the actual term you would use to compare it is also offensive. So I had some sort of chuckle when she described herself as chunti.
The one last thing that I like to say is the one weird quote of where there's never been a short Latina winner. Mm-hmm. That's a very odd specific. I know they always say we've never had a big girl.
Yeah.
So I don't know if she was making fun by saying a short Latina winner or whatever, but that was sort of one of those that I kind of, huh?
Yeah.
When she said it.
All right, next one. We have June Jambalaya. I literally just wrote, come on, LA Queen. That's all I wrote.
I wrote beautiful, polished.
Yeah.
Feels like she's very smart. I have a feeling that she's a smart girl. And I also wrote that she was very much where she would talk about all of her skills and that she went to a performing arts school and everything, but we weren't forced to feel the jantasy about it. It didn't feel like she was like shoving it in your face.
Yes.
Yeah. So I liked her. And the one thing that concerned me is that she referred to herself as a member of the Real Housewives of Drag. Oh. So that immediately I'm like, ugh, are we going to get a villain edit from her? But then she also talked a lot about humility and recognizing the people that allowed her to get to this point. So I'm hopeful that we see her go at this point. I'm hopeful that we see her go far because I really liked her. She was one of the prettiest girls I thought of the entire 14.
Oh, interesting. Very, very interesting. We still have a minute and a half left. Yeah, I thought she I think she was very, very charming. There was something about her that I really liked. And which is funny because she said that about the Real Housewives of Drag or whatever. And maybe is that an informal group or a group she's part of? Because
no, I think she just said she likes to think that she is. I don't think that's an actual group, but that mentality of where we're just going to fight and be bitchy.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
Well, we'll see what happens. All right. Next we have, do you have anything else to say?
No.
Okay. Next we have Carrie Colby. She is a trans queen, I believe.
Yes.
What were your thoughts on her? She's also from LA, right?
She's very pretty. But I wrote she seems something. I don't know. Something with a D. I don't know what I wrote because it was at the bottom of the notebook I was using. Anytime a girl uses a Kardashian.
Yeah.
Reference that immediately me I'm like wah 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 and I will say she is the only one that I lost interest halfway through where I zoned out while she was talking.
I have the same experience. I think she's a little too polished, a little too boring. She must move in that Gigi Good circle. There's something about that Gigi Good Simone circle that is just yes, the look is right, but they're so fucking boring, and the personality of like Lint, and like I know, man, maybe I'll get whatever, but I don't think Simone. She, by the way, this is true for Gigi, this is true for Simone, this is true for Carrie Colby. And I don't know if Carrie Colby is part of that scene. I just know she's from LA and the look is right. But it's soulless. And there's something about Simone, she's soulless. I don't get, like, a personality. In fact, one of the things I said on this Bring It to the Runway was she's now doing a thing where then when she's hosting, she's starting to turn into that factory character.
Yes, that was the thing that I didn't like about her doing all of the characters, where all the contestants were talked about like this.
Yeah, this person, Carrie Colby, is coming down the runway.
Yeah.
And I think Carrie has sort of the same vibes for me,
Well,
go ahead.
if you'll remember, I mean, you may not remember, but I remember not liking Simone in her Meet the Queens. Mm-hmm. I remember not necessarily being impressed. Mm-hmm. So,
well, the one thing I will say, though, now that I said that, is RuPaul seems to be attracted to these people. So I think Carrie will do very well. Because the looks, I will say this, she's going to bring the fucking looks. We know it. She's going to bring the looks. And,
yes.
and RuPaul's going to eat it up. So, all right, we only have like 10 seconds left, so let's move on to Cornbread. Taylor the Latte Boy, your thoughts on Cornbread?
Cornbread's my favorite.
Cornbread is your favorite?
Cornbread was my favorite of all of them. She was the one, for some reason, I was looking forward to the most when they finally got to her. Mm-hmm. I thought she was funny and very quippy. Mm-hmm. I thought for sure that was going to be the clip 0. The line that she said, "I'll shake a titty for the people." I thought for sure you were going to put that down as the.
I probably would have. I was just too lazy to do.
Okay.
Today. Yeah.
The only thing that I did not like was she was doing the thing with the nails, where she was clicking the nails and she was holding them up and doing, jazz fingers sort of thing. That was the one thing that I didn't like. But I am hopeful that we are going to get somebody that is a lot of fun in Cornbread Jeté, I think is how you say her last name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you something, and I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to show Taylor something, and this is going to be the last time that I ever mention it this season, okay? I'm going to send Taylor something. I'm going to text it to you, Taylor.
Okay.
And this will be the last time I mention it this season. Okay? This could seem like, oh God, Joe's not going to stop talking about it. But, last year, running up to the election, I sponsored a voting thing. And Delta was there, and Laganja was there, but also you'll see in that photo, Cornbread Jeté.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Very nice.
Yeah, she was lovely to work with and very professional, and as if she just came out of a drag factory.
Yes.
So, any other thoughts on Cornbread?
No. I hope she does well.
Yeah. And I'm going to say it again. I will never mention that event ever again. I could see some sort of big, Cornbread, she and I to work together. I paid Cornbread.
Your best friends.
Mm-hmm.
Cornbread opened for you.
Cornbread opened for me. Robin Williams opened for Lori.
Mm-hmm.
And Cornbread opened for me. All right, let's leave it there on Cornbread. Next, we have Lady Camden. Go ahead, Taylor.
I find it so odd that there are so few San Francisco queens ever in the history of the show. And the fact that she's a San Francisco queen, I thought was something that was interesting. Yes, she's based out of San Francisco, even though she's from England. She's from Camden, England.
Uh-huh.
So, and I thought that she had the most interesting backstory with being a ballet dancer, and also that her dad ran nightclubs in England. And, but she's another girl who is apparently afraid of comedy.
Yeah.
And I just don't get why you would say that. But then she made a couple of funny comments about hopefully the crown will fit on this hat and the big, huge Mad Hatter hat. And I don't know. She was okay. She was sort of middle of the road for me.
I have no evidence for this. Okay, I have no evidence for this. I was talking to someone today, and they asked me if I knew any spoilers, and I said no. I'm intentionally staying away from spoilers because I want to be surprised. I want to enjoy. I get so little enjoyment on these shows this season. Well, I'm not going to take it away from me anymore. And for that reason, the rumor mill is canceled, at least for now.
Yes.
Right?
Well, that's why you're doing Bring It to the Runway. It's replacing the rumor mill.
It's replacing the rumor mill because I don't want to know spoilers. I don't want to know them now. I want to be like, right? But that said, I don't know anything. It's not a spoiler. This is a pure speculation. Lady Camden is giving off like, oh, we taped this after episode 2, but she was eliminated in one of the other episodes vibes. And she's having to pull it together. I don't know anything, but I'm getting those vibes.
Okay. I can see that. There's somebody else that I get that vibe from as well.
Oh, really?
Yes. Oh, yes. We haven't talked about this person yet. We haven't talked about...
Oh, yeah. I think I know who it is. Is it the last person?
That is... No.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Any other thoughts on Lady Camden?
No, there's not a lot to really say.
All right, let's move on. Next, we have Maddie Morphosis, probably the most discussed drag queen in this preseason run-up. Your thoughts on Maddie Morphosis? Maddie Morphosis. Go ahead.
Maddie Morphosis. I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Is Maddie straight?
She is 100% straight.
100% straight? Okay, yeah.
Oh, you're making the joke that all she talks about.
I'm making a joke because she must have said she was straight 100 times in the course of her 5 minutes, where that was that we are going in with an agenda of sorts. I am very torn on the idea of a cis heterosexual male drag queen, and I know I shouldn't, but I do, and I feel like Maddie is gonna really need to step up her pussy to get people. We're already seeing a backlash, unfortunately. I was just reading an article before we started taping about it, and I feel like that is going to be that is a controversy that didn't need to necessarily be a controversy. I think that when you have somebody like on Drag Race UK this last season with Victoria Scone, who we unfortunately only got to see the one time. I think that we didn't really get a chance to really kind of fully absorb the idea of someone who identifies as heterosexual on the show yet. So to bring in somebody that is, I'm rooting for him. I hope it goes well, but I also think that we are, unless he is super cute as a guy, in which case then then all of the white gays will forgive him at that point. But I just have a feeling that I don't know. What are your thoughts? I'm sorry. I know I talked way too long and said nothing, but what are your thoughts?
No, we still have a minute. I think I'm actually, believe it or not, with you. I am very torn. I am literally equal on both sides. Somebody talks to me who feels strongly about one or the other, and I'm totally on board. Someone might say to me like, "No, Joe, drag is for everybody. It's a wide umbrella. Drag is valid. It's an art form, and straight people are welcome into that art form, right?" And I go, "Yes, that's right. Fuck work, bitch. Yes, right." And then another person will come to me and they'll say, this fucking show, they still haven't had this and they still haven't had that. We have to fight. And now they're putting on a fucking, we have our own safe queer space. And yet again, here comes a cisgendered, straight white male invading a queer space. And I'm like, that fucking makes sense too. So I go back and forth. Ultimately, the end of the day, it's like none of my fucking business, right? I talk about the show and I'm going to call balls and strikes. And, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I do, Taylor. Now I'm going to tell you, I didn't like time is up. Sorry. That's the rule, Taylor. We have to keep,
all right.
We have to move on.
One thing not about Maddie, though, that I did get wrong that was just pointed out is Victoria identifies as lesbian, but she's a AFAB queen. So that was something that we didn't really get a chance to, talk about because she left so early last season.
Yeah. All right. Next, we have down the runway. I'm starting the timer. Orion's story. Go ahead, Taylor.
First to go home.
Oh, really? You're saying
I am calling this one is the first one to go home.
Okay.
The energy was so low. Mm-hmm. The polish non-existent. Mm-hmm. And she seemed so uninterested in being there for the walk and for the interview that she is somebody who the morning of went, I still have to do this interview even though I've already packed up all of my shit. That is the vibe I got off of her.
Interesting. That's I didn't get that vibe, but that's, I maybe have to rewatch it with that in mind. I did not get that vibe at all. I actually liked her. I like that she likes the 60s and the 70s, and she seemed but maybe this speaks to what you were saying. The energy was much more grounded and real, but maybe because you're saying she was like, yeah, I already went home.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she mentioned her mom a bunch of times. You know what? I'm going to go with your evidence. She mentioned her mom a bunch of times because she was probably, I might as well get the mom in now.
Well, okay. So we will know, being we don't know spoilers. Mm-hmm. If during episode 1, she's the mirror moment talking about her mom, mm-hmm. she's going home. Because that's the only, what I can tell, that's the only thing that was interesting about her to me.
I know this is going to sound counterintuitive, but if you heard me writing right there, it's because Taylor went and I wrote it down so I can go take it out. But I'm going to leave this part in about me going in there and taking it out.
Because you work so hard to make this diva look so good. This diva who demands that we begin and end at a certain time.
Oh yeah, you're gonna make it. You know, you've come a long way, BB.
Second snort.
That should be your drag name, Virginia Slim.
Virginia Not So Slim?
Yeah. No, wouldn't it be funny? It'd be funnier if you just said your name was Virginia Slim.
Virginia Slim. There's got to be a drag queen somewhere named Virginia Slim.
Yeah, because there's this is very funny in Mexican culture at least, where there'll be a fat guy and they call him flaco, which means skinny.
Okay.
Anyway, the Italians do it too, and you're Italian.
Mm-hmm. We don't say flaco though.
No. So hey,
ravioli, biscotti,
hey, Taylor macaroni. I made pasta today.
Did you?
Yep. Oh, that's too much. The time's up on Orion's story.
All right.
And then finally we have Willow Pill. I literally just wrote, ew, no.
I wrote Evie's drag daughter. She has her own health issues, so I figure that's going to be a mirror moment for her. Mm-hmm. She seems like there's a disconnect there. I don't know. I just wasn't necessarily a fan. Though at this point, I've been watching this for over an hour, and I think I was starting to get a little tired.
Yeah.
And I had already seen girls that I liked a lot more, but there was something off-putting. I think it was that she had the bow under her chin, so it kind of pushed everything up.
Yeah.
That it just wasn't a great look.
Mm-hmm. There was something about her, and there was nothing. Let me actually go to her look right now on YouTube here. Because I couldn't really quite place it, where I was because the look, I mean, we might need to I think Christian wants to do a show about these looks, but it looks like her pussy smells really bad.
I was going to say that, but I thought that would be offensive, but it kind of looks like her pussy smells.
Like a gym sock.
Ew.
You know?
Yeah.
That said, if Lori was her size, I think this is the kind of drag Lori would do.
That's happening then. If we all get to go to the reunion, I want Lori in that outfit. a recreation of that outfit.
Can you imagine a big, giant person coming in with that, and then they sit in front of you? I can't see the show at all. You know, that happened to me when I went to like the premiere. This is weird. I don't know how this happened. I went to the premiere of Blame It on Bianca. Is that what it's called?
The Hurricane Bianca?
Hurricane Bianca. Blame It on Bianca. Blame It on Del Rio is better, right? But anyway, that's the movie I write for Bianca. But I sat right behind this Jackie Beat, you know?
Yes.
The hair was taking up half the screen. I couldn't see anything. I actually posted about it on social media and Bianca liked it. Like, Jackie's hair was taking up most of the screen because it was so big.
I know you're a fan of Jackie Beat. I don't like Jackie Beat.
Taylor, well, that's gonna do it. That's all of the. What are your thoughts? Are we gonna do that thing again where we make our predictions? You know
yes.
What's so funny? Okay. Here's the thing. Here's the problem I have. I don't know that I have strong enough feelings about any of these queens to make strong predictions. Let me see what I can do here. And I'm gonna. You know what? Because I feel you already have yours, right?
I have a couple of mine.
Just to make it better audio, I'm going to think out loud. Okay? So I'm going to put bottom, middle, top. And we'll have fewer tops. Isn't that always how it is?
Am I right, ladies?
Yeah. So I'm going to start with
then let's do our top 4, and then you do 5 middles, 5 bottoms.
Okay. Top 4. So now, once again, I want to reiterate, this is not who we like the most, because we don't have enough information on that, right? This is who do we think most likely will be in the top, okay? So we're doing 4 tops, 5 middles, 5 bottoms?
Yes.
Okay.
I only have a couple of that I have for my tops.
Okay, so I think for sure Carrie Colby will be in the top.
I agree with that.
I think, believe it or not, I'm going to say that, oh God. Oh, I think they'll put Maddie Morphosis near the top. I don't know if she'll go all the way to the finale.
I put okay. Don't say any more. Let's write down. You write down an M, a T, or a B, and then the folks at home that are listening live, we're going to be quiet for a couple of minutes, and then we'll go down the list for each one and say what we think they are.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna use highlighters. All right, Taylor. We have chosen and you've told me off the air, these are exactly the order you want it to be in, right?
These are, yes. Yes, this is exactly what I'm saying. I don't know that these are all necessarily my favorites, but these are the ones that I could see being top 4.
Okay. And by the way,
or in the middle or the bottom.
I want everyone to know, the fun of this is how horribly wrong we always are.
We didn't do bad last season.
I think you did well last season. I did horrible. And then there was one season where I got like the top 4, like 3 out of the top 4 or something like that. Like I did really well.
Well, I got 3 of the top 4. You didn't do it last year because
I knew
because you knew the order.
Oh, okay. Well, this year I don't know the order. Okay, so I'm playing too. All right, but
yes. Lauren S is bringing up the fact that we've all said that Trinity Taylor was going to be the first one out her season.
Trinity Taylor, and I think that same season we said that Kimora Black was going to go all the way, and Pheromone.
Yes. Yeah.
So Pheromone and Kimora Black are going to be in the top.
Yeah. All right. So let's go down the list again in order, and then you say if you think that they're where they're going to be, whether they're going to be top, bottom, or middle, and I'll say the same, and we could compare at the end of the season where we were.
Okay. Angeria Paris Van Michael.
I have middle.
Okay. I'm going to tell you something. I was wavering on her, particularly her. But just because there were no other slots, I'm going to say, so I'm going to qualify this. I have her for bottom, but I have her as the last of the bottom tier and going to middle. I'll say that.
Okay.
Because I was wavering on her. All right, next.
All right. Alyssa Hunter, what do you have? We'll switch back and forth.
I have bottom for Alyssa Hunter. What do you have?
I have bottom for Alyssa Hunter as well.
Okay, good. Bosco.
Middle.
Oh, I have her in the top 5 or top 4.
Okay. She will be top of the middles, I think. Mm-hmm. I could see Bosco possibly. Mm-hmm. Now, this is going to definitely come back and bite me in the ass. Mm-hmm. For some reason, I feel like Bosco will win Snatch Game.
Has Babalu ever bitten you in the ass?
I bit Babalu in the ass on Sunday. Ooh. He was not expecting it. Yep.
Ooh. Yep. Talk about ropa vieja. All right. Talking next we have Diabetes. Where do you have her?
Diabetes, I have top.
I have her middle.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So for Deja Sky, where do you have Deja Sky?
Middle.
Middle for me as well.
Mm-hmm. What about you for Jasmine Kennedy?
Middle.
I have her as middle.
What about you for Georges?
Middle.
Bottom.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
What about you for June Jambalaya?
Top.
I have her for top as well.
Top as well. Yeah.
Carrie Colby. Oh, sorry, you asked me Carrie Colby. Sorry, man.
What about you for Carrie Colby?
I have her as top.
I have her as top too.
What about you for Cornbread?
Top. Corn, as of right now, I am Team Cornbread, which anyone who looks at pictures of me knows that I'm already Team Cornbread.
Let me tell you about Cornbread. I have her in the middle, but here's why. I would want her to be top. And the debate I had was, and this is really sad, and I just feel this is how RuPaul is, that they're like, well, only one big black girl could be in the top.
And that was my concern when I had both her and June as tops, that I was like, they're never going to have where it's two big healthy black girls.
Yes, 100%. And that's why I went with June Jambalaya over Cornbread.
Okay.
Okay. I think you asked me.
What about you for Lady Camden?
I have her in bottom.
I have her in the bottom as well.
What about you for Maddie Morphosis?
I have Maddie for middle.
Oh, I have her for top.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I just think they're real basic that way.
I think that they are. Unless she is crazy, meaning like her looks are crazy and she is killing it. Mm-hmm. The closer she gets to the top, the more dangerous I feel like that could potentially be for Ru's brand.
Okay.
You know, that I think that I think that you're going to have the people who are looking at Maddie as the bachelorette at the gay bars, kind of that mentality of coming in and taking over our queer spaces. I think you're going to have people that are just going to lose their shit if she makes it to the top.
Interesting. Oh, you're right. Yeah. You'll get very mad. All right. Who's next on the asking?
You're asking me about Orion's story.
What do you think about Orion's story?
I've already said first one to go home.
Yeah, I think I have her in the bottom.
And what about Stinky Pussy?
Yeah.
Willow.
Like, she seems like, I'm looking at her right now, that if you looked at her pussy, that there'd be like, it would be in there.
A balloon would just kind of come out of it.
A balloon would just come out, and what's its name? Pennywise.
Pennywise
would be like, they all float. Come down here. Anyway,
room for everyone.
I have her in the bottom.
I have her in the bottom too. So, okay, so to review, your top 4 are...
My top 4 are Bosco, June Jambalaya, Carrie Colby, and Maddie Morphosis.
And my top 4 are... What did I say was on the... Diabetes, June Jambalaya, Carrie Colby, and Cornbread.
So we match on 2 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We match in a lot more as far as the middle and bottoms.
Yeah. So
I am definitely torn about the June and Cornbread, which is horrible, because I think it would be wonderful to have two healthy girls as the front runners.
Yeah. Well, healthy size. Yeah. Isn't it ironic that the girl who's not fat is diabetic? Anyway. So, but you know, and then I'm gonna fucking, oh shit, what did I just say? I am gonna get a text message from Mike Lawson, because I know this is one of his pet causes, that diabetes, especially type 1, is not associated with, you know, weight and blah, 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 blah. I know, Mike, it was just a cheap joke. I am sorry. I apologize. By the way, both Taylor and I are diabetic.
Yeah. We can say stuff like that.
We spent the whole
I quoted you today at work, and I know, ironically, it's something that I remember you saying this on a catching up, and Mike being mad that you said it. Mm-hmm. I had to put on my big girl panties for a phone call today with a provider, and I was really mad when I got off the phone, and I went and talked with the woman across the hall from me, and I said, they fucked with the wrong faggot.
Yeah.
And I know you said that one time, and Mike got mad, and I was channeling La Betance when I said that,
because I see it, when appropriate, as a word of power, Taylor.
Yes, and I was empowered in that moment.
And then you went and cried.
Sorry, Mike.
You went and cried and stuffed a donut in your mouth.
What was that cough?
I don't know. Diabetes.
Cough, cough, cough. Diabetes. Want to get with me? Better eat your Wheaties.
I'm trying to find our outro.
Join the show on season 8. Back next year, I vacillate. It's Latte Boy, the voice of reason. Taylor's back for another season.
You remember that?
Uh-huh. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the sickest of them all? Cough, cough, cough. Diabetes. Want to get with me? Better eat your Wheaties. Join the show on season 8. Back next year, I vacillate. It's Latte Boy, the voice of reason. Taylor's back for another season. Hey, kitty girl!
I didn't record an outro yet for season 14.
14.
Yeah, but it'll be here January 7th. But Taylor, why don't you give everyone your plugs? What are your socials?
I am available on Instagram at PIMC Taylor. Also available on Twitter at PIMC Taylor. And you can hear me on Pod as My Co-Pilot, my flagship show.
Yeah, and you congratulations, episode 600.
600. I know you do that in a year, so for us it's a big deal that it took us this long. But
when do you drop that?
I haven't even edited it yet. It will probably be edited tomorrow night and be released this week. But it's a 2-hour extravaganza.
I want everyone to know, Taylor caused the biggest fucking ruckus about when we were going to record this show because he had to edit episode 600. Mm-hmm. And now he's going to edit tomorrow.
But it's good that we didn't tape last night because we are taping this at 8:30 my time, and I was in bed by 8 o'clock last night because I was not feeling well. So
that's good. Yeah, we want a happy Taylor.
Yes.
Also, I believe.
And do you know why we have a happy Taylor? Thanks, Wellbutrin.
I believe we had a birthday recently, didn't she?
We did. I turned 49.
Oh my God! Congratulations!
Big 5-0 next season. Yes, thank you. Be the big 5-0.
Oh, are you nervous?
No. We can definitely talk about that more next year when we start the new season. But it's I almost died a couple of years ago, so the fact that I got to 50, you know what? I'll take it.
All right, very good. All right, good. We'll see you guys next year, 2022, right here with RuPaul's Drag Race Season 14, the long train to death. The long march to death. The long dark march to just I'm sure there's a better word for it. I'll just think about it.
The same storyline retreaded over and over and over, but with just different pigs and wigs.
Yeah, that should be my my drag name but instead of Sisyphus, because that Sissy Face. Because just rolling the same fucking boulder up the mountain. Yep. I read this article on like Purity or Advocate or something like that, right? And they're like, RuPaul's Drag Race had a brand new episode every week this year. I'm like, you could don't tell me twice. All right. Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.